At about 3 p.m. on the 28th of March 2013, a 15-metre section of brick wall bordering the old Carlton and United Brewery site collapsed, trapping 3 people under the rubble. The wall was protected under heritage laws, but was seen to have several cracks in its lower structure. The wall also had a wooden hoarding attached to the front of it, which according to Rob Hayward, a forensic engineer, increased the load onto the wall. Grocon haven't released a statement as to why there was a hoarding placed against the heritage wall, but according to CFMEU boss John Setka, the hoarding was placed opposite the CFMEU offices as a campaign to get in the union's face. Although this is conjecture, there could be some truth to it, as the union and Grocon were locked in a vicious court battle. The police, coroner's court, WorkSafe and Grocon have all launched investigations. As yet, there have been no consequences for Grocon due to these reports being ongoing. The police have laid no charges, and unfortunately it seems that the only people facing any sort of consequences are the families of the victims. Whose responsibility was it? According to some reports, the wall hadn't been tested since Grocon bought the property in 2006, and wouldn't have needed to be tested while the site was under construction or dilapidated. What is undisputable is that there were cracks in the brickwork as of 4 months before the accident. These cracks were near where the concrete foundations meet the bricks. Other cracks were found in the pillar supporting the main section of the wall. The hoarding, installed by Grocon, was found to not have a permit and as such hadn't been checked by an engineer. This permit was supposed to be obtained from the council, but due to the wall being a heritage item, the permit would have needed to be obtained from the planning minister Matthew Gillard. This grey area caused confusion and a lot of blame being laid over whose fault it was. The legal responsibility of who had to maintain the wall is also a grey area. As the wall is on a border of land owned and maintained by Grocon, the section of the wall adjacent to the property would need to be maintained by Grocon, with oversight from the State Heritage Department. However, the site adjacent to public road would need to be maintained by the State Heritage Department and the local municipal council. Who has responsibility is what the reports are investigating. This is a key factor in deciding whether there should be charges and subsequently who should be charged. This is why the reports are taking so long, as the police need to be 100% sure of who was responsible for the what. The chain of events leading up to the collapse will also help to determine who has responsibility. The legal ramifications of this wall collapse are huge. This is one of the thankfully rare times a civilian bystander has been hurt, and however this doesn't mean that nothing should change. Obviously there are several flaws in the planning process, as surely this isn't the first construction site to have a heritage wall. Although the hoarding permit process will definitely have to come under review, obviously with WorkSafe conducting a report they will advise the government on any changes needed. However, to a certain point, it was just a freak gust of wind that knocked over an old wall, unfortunately killing 3 people. This could have been avoided if the wall had been knocked down once construction on the site started. After all, the wall had to be brought down after the incident. At the end of the day, 3 people have died and no amount of law changes will bring these people back. However, law changes can prevent more accidents happening in the future. This is why WorkSafe and OHS are important parts of keeping Australia safe and healthy.
Created using Powtoon.